Too sweet. Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. You can find our Twitters at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. Dwight?
Yeah, I'm here.
I was asking about your weekend. We're both kind of feeling under the weather. You a little more than me, so I'm not even gonna ask you about your weekend.
It's probably a good call.
Okay, that's understandable.
It's just been rough.
No, both of us. For the two of us, so it's fine. I understand.
Everybody's sick out here, dude.
Best part about Championship Sunday is that I don't work on Sundays. Like, I work on Saturdays, so I've always been missing the early games. And then as a young 20, not even young anymore, I'm 26 years old. I'm in the mid-20s age. That's hard to hear, but
It's your prime, bro.
I like to go out. So I don't even really, I was seeing these Saturday night and Saturday afternoon games, but I wasn't seeing these Saturday afternoon and Saturday night games. So Championship Sunday was great because I could sit and watch every play from both games. It would have been a little better if either of them were close. We'll get into that. Atlanta took on Green Bay this week. You took Green Bay, and
Sure did. Yep.
If Aaron Rodgers would have won that game, and I didn't think he was going to, but if he would have figured out a way to win that game, that would have convinced me the whole fate thing, because I was on the Ray Lewis, the Joe Flacco fate thing that year. So I'm not against fate. I see fate. I see momentum. The year the Flyers were the 8th seed and they made it the whole way to the Eastern Conference Finals. They were down 3-0 to Boston in the second round, and I threw my hat right when they were down 3-0. I threw my hat in anger, and I let it sit there, and they won 4 straight games, and they made it to the next round. So I believe in fate. I believe in momentum. I believe in superstition. I believe in all that as a sports fan. I thought Aaron Rodgers had signs of it. I just thought the rest of his team sucked too much to actually win the next 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. I ended up being right on the Atlanta thing. Their offense is so good, and Green Bay's defense is so depleted that it wasn't fair. It was not a fair fight for Aaron Rodgers to walk into. He was sick during the week last week as well. I think that has something to do with it. No, I know what you're saying. He couldn't bring the energy that he usually has. Do you agree with that at least?
No.
I find when you're sick during the week. When you're sick during the week, the next weekend, you're not going to bring the same energy that you brought all. No, you think differently. Okay.
No, I still think he had a good game.
He had a great game. No, I'm not taking anything away from Aaron Rodgers. What I'm saying is I think that everything was stacked against him, and then him himself had a personal illness during the week. I think it was just the next thing. It just becomes too much to overcome at some point when you're by yourself and then you yourself get sick. It's kind of hard to overcome. He just didn't seem like he had the energy there that he had. Now, he played an amazing game. I'm not taking anything away from him.
I'm not buying that.
They were super undermanned. They were super undermanned as it was.
That's a better thing to say.
Look, they're playing with Clay Matthews, and as Eric Thomas tweeted at me, because I was tweeting back and forth with him on my personal Twitter, Clay Matthews right now
was on the show Twitter page?
No, it
wasn't.
wasn't.
Tell everybody to follow?
It was, no one follows that anyways. More people follow my personal Twitter than the show's Twitter page. More people follow my Twitter than the personal Twitter's page.
Go ahead, you long-winded something.
More people follow my Twitter than the personal Twitter's page, so I have more conversation on sports when I tweet from my page than the show's Twitter page.
Nobody's following the show's page because you don't use it.
A lot of people use mine,
but you don't use it.
But ain't no one gonna follow the show's Twitter. Even when I used it, no one followed us. That's why I use my personal Twitter.
But if you have the same conversations on that show page, what's gonna happen? They're gonna follow it.
So,
you've been saying that for 3 weeks. Come on, you long-winded SOB. Keep it going.
As Eric Thomas, the Packers fan that I know, said, Clay Matthews is out there with a duct tape shoulder. So my thought was, why don't they have anybody else? And as he explained to me, they don't have anyone else. They don't have anybody from the practice squad that they could bring up. They were using every linebacker they had on the roster, and they didn't look like they had a linebacker out there playing football on Sunday. They didn't look like they had a quarterback out there.
Breaking news.
Right.
They don't have a defense.
It's not any different than it was the week before. I understand. You picked them, so this is why I picked against them.
It had nothing to do with their defense.
This is why I picked against them, because of that, and that's what I'm saying. So
it had nothing to do with their defense.
For the first time since that Eagles game.
You are a long-winded SOB. Have I ever told you that?
Yes. It caught up to them.
Oh, my God.
Now, Aaron Rodgers, as you said, had a great game. Phenomenal game. The rest of the team did not, though.
No.
Matt Ryan and Julio Jones went off.
They were just a little better.
It wasn't just them two, though. Sanu caught a couple big catches. They had a running game. Their running game has been good all year. And their defense stepped up a little bit. even though Aaron Rodgers ended up figuring out his groove against them, the first 3 series they didn't come up with any points. One was a missed field goal. So the first 2 series they weren't even in 2 of the first 3 series they weren't even in field goal range though. They had to punt the ball away. I give the Atlanta defense that much credit, even though I know, look, congratulations, you made them punt twice. Like, it was only 4 times throughout the entire game that they made them punt. It's not like Atlanta held Green Bay or anything on the defensive side of the ball. But they did enough they had to early that it was 21-0 out of nowhere. Impossible to come back from, especially when it's 24-7 at halftime or whatever it was. 24-0 at halftime, whatever it was. So, Matt Ryan, who you said would be the MVP, right? You said he was the MVP?
Likely. Yeah. Because they're not giving it to Brady.
And I think Brady is the actual MVP, but I'm with you. No. Okay.
We're not going to have that conversation.
Not to dissect Matt Ryan.
No, we're not going to have that conversation again.
Matt Ryan's numbers without Julio Jones.
Not to dissect him, but I'm going to dissect him.
Not good. Anyways.
It's fucking Julio Jones.
Oh, he's
Who
the best.
cares?
Look, him and AB are the 2 best. I think
not to dissect him without Julio Jones.
I think AB is the best receiver in the NFL, and I think that makes Ben Roethlisberger 10 times better. And I think that Julio Jones is the second best wide receiver in the NFL, and I think that makes Matt Ryan from a great quarterback to an elite quarterback. Now, look, their offense is historically good. They're the 7th best offense of all time if you break them down. I actually, as I bring up often, saw their only game that they didn't score over 20 points in a game this season. That's impressive. Out of the 18 games they have played, they've scored 20 points in every game but one. That's an impressive stat. They're the only team in league history to ever do that. They're the 7th best offense in the history of the NFL. They have 2 running backs, not just one. They have 2 good running backs, a good offensive line. They have about 5 wide receivers. They have all right tight ends, but your tight ends will shine wide open with the receivers you have. He has found the most receivers in NFL history. He has a completion of 14 different receivers. That's the most receivers in NFL history that have a completion on the season. He had 7 in the first half. He had 7 different targets on the first half. That's impressive. They won this game walking away. The second half was fun. It was interesting. If you want to give Aaron Rodgers props, when he was running out of bounds there on the 10-yard line, he ripped the dude's face mask off and he threw the helmet on the ground and he kind of gave him a shoulder. No, nothing. I give Aaron Rodgers a little props for that. He was still fighting late. Look, Atlanta's offense is the real deal.
You can give me like 1,000 stats on Atlanta, like you will, and you'll continue to do.
Yes, I have 1,000,000, but keep going.
I know you do, and you're just going to keep throwing them out there. But the bottom line is this. We don't need to keep going on and on about that. Okay. Because that's what...
What do you want to hear?
There's no need to go.
I want to hear what you want to know.
You're not telling me anything that we haven't already heard. Like, I've done heard it. Doesn't matter. The bottom line is this. Yeah, I picked... Get to the facts of the situation, which is, I picked Green Bay. Why did I pick Green Bay? Because I said Aaron Rodgers is going to be the difference of the situation. And I said that as much as you picked Atlanta because you said Green Bay's defense was going to be able to stop Atlanta, I also said Atlanta's defense was going to be able to stop Green Bay. And
they still gave up 25-plus points.
Right. So I don't really think that they stopped them. I just think that Atlanta was so hot. It was more so hot than what Aaron Rodgers was, is that Atlanta was able to keep it going, and they were controlling the clock, dude. Especially in the first half, dude, they were controlling the ball. Aaron Rodgers had, they had like 2 or 3 possessions in like the first quarter.
They only had 2 possessions in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, but then so
and one ends up being a missed field goal that Mason Crosby made 2 field goals longer to tie the game and then win the game last week. He made 2 field goals longer last week to take the lead and then win the game last week. But this week, 10 yards shorter than either of those, he missed on the first drive. That set the tone. You don't get points on that first drive. Already down 7-0. Next time you walk on the field, you're down 14-0. So I'm with you.
Can't do that. You can't do that against that offense, that MVP like offense that Matt Ryan is running. You can't do that, and unfortunately, Atlanta exposed Green Bay offensively. Offensively, we've been saying it's nothing but Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers unfortunately wasn't able to do it on his own because Matt Ryan proved that offensively he just has more. That was the difference maker.
I went to my friend's house Sunday night for the second game, and I said it to him when I walked in there. The thing that I noticed was every time they would pan over to Aaron Rodgers during the first series for Atlanta, he was taking a deep breath. He was like, after a long pass, he was like, it just kind of showed that he, at that moment, knew he was on his own in the way that Atlanta was running down the field on them on that first drive. It kind of saw that in his head. He thought this is going to be one of those games that again, just like it was all in the beginning of the season, it didn't matter what he did. In the beginning of the season, it did not matter what he did. They were still losing football games. I think he saw it. It didn't matter what he did in that game. They were going to lose. How they won the Dallas game like that, he probably can't even really tell you. But he saw it in the first quarter of that game that he kind of thought no matter what he did, unless he matched them every single series, there was no chance of winning that game. And you miss a field goal right off the bat, it's going to hurt the psyche, not just you, your entire team. Aaron Rodgers came out and had an amazing game the rest of the game, even after the missed field goal. They still lose the game by a lot. Their offense was solely him, not just in this game,
that's the way
all
it's been,
season.
forever.
Jordan Nelson came back and played with broken ribs. I give him credit for that. That's got to hurt. That's got to be hard to even take a couple shots. He ended up scoring a touchdown at one point. It's still, he was just undermanned. Matt Ryan without Julio Jones, though,
I can't believe you said, I'm not going to dissect this man, but then I'm going to dissect this man and say, well, if you take away Julio Jones, is he that good? You sound like Skip, but you hate to say, you hate on him so much, but you just made a Skip comment. I'm not going to dissect this man, but if this was a situation,
Matt Ryan was good. Matt Ryan has been very good his entire career.
Yeah, and he's had Julio for most of his career.
This year he has been elite. This year he went from good to elite.
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger was about to be out of the league. AB comes in. He ends up being a quarterback.
What does that have to do with Julio? That has nothing to do with Julio.
Eli Manning.
Matt Ryan's had Julio Jones for years.
My point is, look,
years.
Eli Manning
was about
to be out of the league.
He's had Roddy White too.
Doesn't have many more. Roddy White doesn't play for them
anymore. He's had Julio Jones for years.
Yeah, his whole career. I agree, almost his whole career.
Take away the great receiver. Okay, take away fucking Odell Beckham Jr.
And that's my point. I literally just said
There's no reason to make
Eli was about to be out of the league as well, and then Odell comes in, changes Eli's career back around. There is something to that. Because
of course, he's an elite receiver, dude.
He had 333 yards in a game this year and 2 touchdowns. That's incredible.
Breaking news, he's an elite receiver.
Breaking
news, he's a difference maker.
AB's the best receiver. I think he's the second best receiver.
What is your point?
My point is
you take away an elite receiver, he's not as good. Well, duh.
Is Matt Ryan the MVP or is Julio Jones the MVP?
Matt Ryan, he's throwing the ball.
He's
throwing it to other people, not just Julio. Yeah,
Julio
had all these
most
stats,
of all time. But you don't think Julio opens up the rest of those guys to get open?
Oh my goodness. No.
I know. I want to know.
Yes. Of course, he opens up the field to everybody else.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not going to give Julio. Don't even.
Because when Julio's off the field, they struggle more than.
For an argument right
when
now.
Julio's off the field, they struggle more than when Matt Ryan's off the field.
You are stretching for an argument right now. And
I think Matt Ryan's a very good quarterback. I think he's a top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback. I just think that without Julio Jones,
breaking news.
If Phillip Rivers was the Atlanta quarterback, I think he does what Matt Ryan's doing.
Okay, so what's your point?
My point is that how do you become the MVP then? Aaron Rodgers has more.
Because you don't give it to the wide receiver, dude. You give it to the quarterback. Because this is the NFL and this is what happens.
But in that case, then Aaron Rodgers should be the MVP or Tom Brady should be MVP, right? Because if you took them off their teams, they're not doing what they do. Where if you took Matt Ryan off his team,
remember when Tom Brady had Randy Moss?
It was the best season of his career.
Right. Okay. Right.
And then the next year, Matt Castle wins 5 less games with the same exact roster. So yeah, I agree. You're proving that Tom Brady might be the greatest quarterback of all time. We'll talk about that later. My thing is
no, we won't.
Matt Ryan.
You are so stretching for an argument. Come on,
try. Who I like?
Point. I'm waiting for your point.
Because he's a Philly guy.
Because I'm sick and I can't deal with you as it is. But now you're telling me as I'm sick, I got to deal with you reaching, telling me, well, if he doesn't have one of the best wide receivers in the game, is he that good?
Is he the MVP? No. Is he that good? Is he the MVP this year? Not is he that good.
He's going to get it. Stop asking rhetorical questions, bro. Is he going to get it? Yes. And he deserve it? Yes. The end.
Aaron Rodgers.
You're reaching for it. You reach so hard on some of these conversations.
Aaron Rodgers.
Let's remove Julio Jones. Let's remove Odell. Let's remove Des Bryant. Well, of course, if you remove elite wide receivers, you're not going to be as good. Duh. Well, does a wide receiver deserve the MVP? No, it's never going to happen.
That's what I want to know.
It's never going to happen.
Julio should be the MVP of.
Never.
If Julio's the MVP,
did Jerry Rice get MVP ever? No.
He should have.
It's never going to happen.
He should have. He did have Montana throwing to him and Steve Young, but...
Bruh, fucking Des Bryant, he was... Why did Cole Beasley have so many catches here?
Because Des Bryant was getting double covered. I agree with that.
So does Des Bryant deserve an MVP? No.
Julio deserves the MVP is what I was getting at, though.
He doesn't either. No, he doesn't deserve it.
All right, that's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Aaron Rodgers was out here throwing to nobody.
I'm listening.
I know you are. Aaron Rodgers was out here throwing to absolutely nobody at one point in that game. You could see the frustration on him. he moved the ball pretty well even without any receivers. He had Jordan Nelson with the broken ribs. He had another guy playing injured who never saw the field. He had Randall Cobb having a half-decent game. He ended up scoring a couple touchdowns. I liked when he threw the helmet off and ran into the other guy and kind of told him about himself even with a couple minutes to go in the game. Look, and you know me, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, I love. Aaron Rodgers, the way he handles himself in press conferences and off the field, I've never been a fan of. But the way he handled himself in that situation,
he's a fan of Cam Newton,
I loved
what he
it.
does in his situations. Anyway, I'm just saying, keep it moving. Because I'm not having that argument either.
Because Cam's always positive. My thing with Rodgers, he throws his teammates under the bus. The one thing Cam will never do is throw his teammates under the bus. Cam will throw himself under the bus. Cam makes himself look bad in that press conference last year. I'll give you that. The one thing he doesn't do is throw teammates under the bus. That's what I don't like about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers throws teammates under the bus, does he not? He throws teammates under the bus all the time.
So he's wrong for that?
I don't like it. As a quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, and we'll get into it.
This is why we got a president right now, who he is, because people got tired of these pussified people out here.
I think our leader, as a leader, if I was
I'm your leader, I'm telling you, you're slacking. You should listen.
If I was in that Packers locker room, I want Aaron Rodgers to tell me that to my face, not to the media. Is Aaron Rodgers saying to their face? I don't know. But my thing is he shouldn't be saying to the media
does the same
either
thing.
way.
I don't hear you complain about that.
You know what? I hate it. I hate it. I told you I don't like some of the things LeBron does, and that would be one of them. The reason where I get this from is Andy Reid. Andy Reid in a press conference, they could lose the game, and it would be on a Donovan McNabb interception with 12 seconds to go. And the first thing Andy Reid would say in the press conference is, this loss is on me. Because I think as a leader, the first thing you need to do is always take the blame, whether it's everyone else's fault or not. It was everyone else's fault except Aaron Rodgers. I want leaders to be, yes. What's the point of having a leader then? What's the point of having a leader? Why do you have a captain in hockey then? If your captain in hockey isn't going to stand there and be the captain, if your captain in football isn't going to stand there and be your captain, then what's the point of having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback? If he's not going to stand there and take the blows and say, you know what?
Because if it wasn't on him, it wasn't on him.
I'm not looking for truth telling out of my quarterback. I'm looking for him to be a leader. I want people like you and I.
I get it.
No, I want people like you and I.
Because you should be calling him out. Good, call him out.
You and I should be saying this. Skip Bayless should be telling the truth. Stephen A. should be telling the truth. Colin Cowherd should be telling the truth. I can go on for a list of million more names should be telling the truth. I don't want my quarterback out here throwing the rest of the team under the bus.
That's all we do.
Why does he have to throw the rest of the team under the bus?
Why shouldn't he?
Behind closed doors, if he wants to call them out all he wants, then go for it. Behind closed doors, I'm totally in. Publicly, why do you have to embarrass them? Why do you have to? We all know they sucked during this entire season. We all know they sucked during this game. Why do you have to try to make them feel worse? Sit there and talk to them about it in the locker room.
He made
talk to them about it in the locker room.
worse.
Go talk to them about it in the locker room, face to face as a man. I don't care what he has to say to them. What he has to say to the media, unless it's
he made them feel worse.
Why though? Why? Why do you got to go and do that?
Why not?
So you think the guy who couldn't block for him this season wants to really go out and block for him next season after he threw him on the bus? I wouldn't want to. If my boss was saying it was your fault,
if he's got it set and he's got any type of pride, then yeah, he would go out.
If it was my boss, if it was your boss, if it was your boss saying that you were the only reason that this isn't happening over and over and over.
Actually, I encourage that. I actually tell my boss, call me out. If I'm a fuck up,
call you out to your face.
No, I've told my manager. Actually,
we're dealing with a whole different lifestyle.
I want you to call me out
to your face.
No, I've told my manager actually.
Well, I like that.
I want to be called out in front of a team.
Then you can take that. Then you could.
I'm good with that.
Then you can take that.
Because I'm saying if I want to be called out, that means you can call them out, and I'm good with that. If you call me out, and you know what, that was me. You know what? Thank you for pointing out. We can all learn from this situation.
But will he call the rest of the group out?
I don't know.
Probably not. And that's the thing is that my thing is
I'm good being called out.
You're good with being called out. I'm okay with being called out.
Okay, so maybe they're good with being called out.
I'm trying to make my team better though, right?
I don't know. You're the only one. I haven't heard anybody complain about this other than you, so I don't know.
It's always been my issue with Aaron Rodgers. That's always been my issue with Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this is actually an issue or just something that you have an issue with him. Because I haven't heard anything about it.
I think it's just me because look, and I'm...
Okay, so you have an issue
I'm
with
on the rest of society of...
You just told me that you're good with it. I'm on the rest of
society of that nobody else can do what he did the last 12 games of the season.
You just told me you're good with being called out, correct?
Yes,
what's your problem? I don't understand what your problem with this is then.
If I was the quarterback, I would understand that my offensive lineman or my defense wouldn't be okay with it. Look, I am good with it personally. Yes. If I was Aaron Rodgers, left guard and Aaron Rodgers called me out publicly, yes, you're absolutely right. I would be okay with it. My thing is, I don't think his current left guard would be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but as a leader, you're supposed to know those situations and judge those situations properly.
They are okay with it. You're assuming that they're not okay with it, and you're going off on a tangent because you don't think that they're okay
Most
with it.
NFL players aren't, though. Most NFL players are.
Maybe they are okay with it.
I love Odell Beckham Jr., but can you imagine Eli straight up just saying that he was the reason we lost today? Like, he's called him out a couple times, but like fully calling him out on if he didn't drop the ball on this play,
and he has it, which means that he knows not to do that. Maybe Aaron Rodgers knows that he can get away with that.
I hope so, but Aaron Rodgers does it for everybody, so I'm thinking Aaron Rodgers takes the other approach, the you approach, where I don't care how they feel about it, I'm going to say it anyways.
Good.
And I know you appreciate that.
Call me out. I'm good with that.
And you and I appreciate calling ourselves out because we want to always know how to get better.
That's fine, yeah.
I think I look around the rest of the league, Tom Brady has never done it. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to me in the history of the NFL. Eli Manning doesn't even do that.
Yeah, he's never done it on the field, freaking out.
On the field, but I'm talking about in the
freaking out, and the entire world sees how he's reacting. So that makes it better. No, it doesn't make it better.
He's talking to them directly, though. He's not talking to the media. So yes, it makes it so much better. Yeah. You don't agree? Yeah. He's talking to them to their face.
It makes it.
He's saying it face to face to them. They're looking at him in the eye.
You know why it makes it this much better?
They're looking him in the eye. I think it's a difference.
You know why it makes it this much better? Because at the end of the day, it's still on blast. It's still on TV, and everybody sees it.
When you see Aaron Rodgers huffing and puffing on the sideline, not yelling at players.
Tom Brady does the same thing.
He huffs him, yes, but he doesn't do it in the media. He doesn't do it as post-game press conference. That's my point there.
Great.
Really? I think there's a whole difference. I think there's an entire no. On the field, absolutely not, and that's why I agree. On the field, Aaron Rodgers might be the best quarterback in 2016, 2017. Him or Tom Brady, it's one of them two anyways. They are the two best quarterbacks of this season. Without question, they handle themselves the best on the field. Without question. I just don't like how he handles himself off the field sometimes. I didn't like that situation. And I said about the family thing this year, and I will repeat it. That might not even be his fault. That might be his family's fault. So I'm not going to sit here and judge him for a bunch of other things. I'll judge him off of what I see. I just don't like what I personally see. I don't like it. Like I said, the family thing, people like to bring that up. I don't think the family thing has anything to do. I don't think his family might not talk to them because they suck. It might not that he sucks. It might be that they're the problem. You know what I mean? I don't know him.
This conversation is way over here. So what's next?
But this is what happens. This is where they go all the time. So,
goddamn. Next,
the Packers.
Are we still on the Packers? What is there to talk about the Packers?
They need a draft defense.
They're not done.
Draft defense.
And the conversation, are they done? Or is
No.
No, I'm saying because all I've been seeing was, is the Super Bowl window closed? Like, stop breathing. Like, hold your breath for like 20 minutes.
You have Aaron Rodgers.
The end.
You're gonna be there every time.
You're gonna get pieces.
You're gonna be there. You gotta figure out how to get something around him. You gotta rebuild your linebacker.
Get a couple more offensive players.
You have a decent secondary, not a good secondary. You need cornerbacks. You have a really good safety in Clinton Dix.
You have one good safety. They do need a defense.
The rest of their defense can be rebuilt. I agree. Right. So they have great wide receivers, and they need to figure out an offensive line. Is he young though? He's like 31 and 32, isn't he?
That's young. That's young.
Compared to Tom Brady, it's young, but is it young?
That's young.
Dude, I hope so. I like Aaron
Rodgers. A 32-year-old doesn't cut it has been killed for like 10 years. Dude.
I hope to see Aaron Rodgers for another 10 years. I like watching Aaron Rodgers play football.
He's going to be around for 10
years. I'm not against this. So you debunked the Matt Ryan, Julio Jones situation. Yep. Do you think their defense is any good?
No.
Atlanta?
No.
At all?
No.
Not even a little?
No.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. No, that's fair enough.
I mean, I guess the argument would be, well, they shut down Aaron Rodgers. I mean, to an extent.
They didn't shut Aaron Rodgers down. He scored 20 plus points.
And he had like 3 touchdowns.
28 points?
Something like that. He had like 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. So, I mean, that's why I was like,
And the pick came on a 3rd and 17 from his own 4-yard line that it was basically a punt.
Yeah, they all saw it. Yeah, it was a bomb, and it was a bad
throw,
and
he had to throw that. I tweeted it, literally. I said, I don't blame...
JD Sports page?
No.
I'm going to keep calling you out until you start using that page like you're supposed to.
I was okay with him throwing that. I was okay with him throwing that. They don't even follow my own page. A lot of people do, but not the people who watch the show.
Make them, bruh.
Who watches the show?
I don't know. Why are we doing this?
Hopefully this week a lot of people watch shows.
14 people?
For future.
Why are we doing this then? I'm sick and have no attitude to be doing this.
For the future.
Ugh.
So you just want me to move on to the next game then?
Yeah. Why are we like a half hour into this Packers-Falcons game? Next. And there's like 3 minutes to talk about this game. Patriots and how great Tom Brady is. Go ahead, get your load out.
Best playoff game of his career.
Yep.
380 plus.
Are you shocked?
3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
What? All I heard Thursday and Friday was how he's one playoff away, one bad playoff game away.
You always say how you
from
hear, like
cut.
I keep saying, who do you follow? Who do you pay attention to? Who do you?
That was
to?
Colin Cowherd that said that, and I didn't like that because I
That's
usually
your
agree
boy.
with Colin.
Oh.
I usually agree with Colin.
I don't listen to Colin.
He was talking about. He said Colin Cowherd straight up said.
So did you hit up Colin like you hit up Skip?
No, I didn't have to. I was gonna wait to see what he said. I was gonna wait till he said.
Conversation's over.
I was gonna wait till he said on Monday. He actually. He took it on. I appreciate him taking it on. He said he was wrong about that. That he shouldn't have ever have said that because now he sees it and understands it.
He's on the radio. Of course he's going to make outlandish statements. That's expected. That's why I don't pay attention to these dudes like you do, bro.
Outside of Dan Patrick, I don't like anybody.
I don't pay attention to
I'll be honest with you.
Like,
Outside of Dan Patrick,
him,
I love the DP show, so I'm going to say that right now. Outside of him...
They all say outlandish shit.
Russillo's pretty good, but the rest of them suck. I like Russillo.
I don't listen to anyone. I don't listen to any of these people on TV.
But I like Russillo more for basketball. Russillo's a really good college football and basketball guy. Dan Patrick is good at every sport. Colin, I like Colin with the NFL and NBA, but he says things like Brady's one bad game away from getting cut. He said he thought last week if Brady had a bad game against the Patriots that Belichick wouldn't have a problem cutting him. 2 things. 1, I think Belichick would have a hard time cutting Brady ever. 2, what made you think that he was going to have a bad game anyways? I never thought he was going to have a bad game. All right, so he had
an opinion. So
he had a bad game against the best defense in the league. Or, as you said, the Texans aren't the best defense, a top 5 defense at least. He had a bad game. They still won the game by 12 points. In a bad game. I had no thought that the Patriots weren't going to go in there and beat...
It was ironic.
What?
These fucking people were saying, "Oh, Houston, their defense is so good, defense is so good." But
number 1 defense in the league.
But then, allegedly. But then after this weekend, all I heard was, "Well, the Patriots, they have the number 1 points against the points." So I was like, "So then, how is Houston up? Shut them." Well, what are you going off? Yards? Then you going to?
Yeah, yards. Houston has the lowest.
This is why I don't pay attention.
Houston was the number 1 rated defense in the league. Patriots were the 4th.
Exactly why I don't pay attention.
3rd or 4th defense in the league.
Do you know how stupid that sounds? The Houston Texans, they're the number 1 defense, but then you're going to tell me a week later...
Scoring-wise, the Patriots were 1.
They specified the points scoring-wise when Houston's gone. Yeah. It's so stupid. This is why I don't pay attention to shit.
I never thought that the Patriots are the top defense in the league anyways. I said that last week.
So
neither Houston nor freaking New England
is the top 2 defenses in the leagues.
I think they're both top 5. I mean,
yeah,
it's going to be
those
close.
Stupid stats.
I think Belichick makes the Patriots a top 5 defense. Unfortunately, though, because I had this conversation at work the other day, if the Patriots were to go on and win the Super Bowl, right, they shouldn't be historically better than that 18-1 team, right? Do you agree? Should they be historically better than that 18-1 team? But they're going to go down historically if they win.
If you win a Super Bowl, then yeah, you have to be.
But that's rough because that 18-1 team literally struggled with 3 teams: the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Giants, and they lost the Giants game. That was it. Those were the only 3 teams that they had a problem with. They blew every other team out. They blew 15 of the 18 teams that they played out. They blew 15 of the 18 teams that they had to play out. That's incredible. Tom Brady, next year, got hurt on the 5th play of the game. Matt Castle won 5 less games with the same team. 5 less games with the same team. But they try to say it's Belichick, and Belichick makes Brady. I think it's the opposite. I think Brady makes Belichick.
Like that.
Do you think Brady makes Belichick or
If you're telling me Matt Castle had that type of year, I mean...
He had 5 less wins than Brady.
Oh, 5 less. But he still had a great year.
Did they make playoffs?
He still had a great year.
Did they make playoffs? What do you think Brady does that year? If Matt Castle had a great year, what do you think Brady does?
I don't know.
Probably wins the division?
I don't think about hypotheticals, so I don't
know.
My
point is... Okay, I think that Belichick needs Brady as much as Brady needs Belichick. I think Belichick is a defensive genius. He had 8 quarterbacks in 5 years before Brady, though. It's not. I mean, that's not a coincidence. As a head coach, he had 8 quarterbacks in 5 years. I think Brady makes him as much as he makes him.
Maybe. There's no argument there.
Charlie Wise made the offense, unfortunately. No, I can't. As a Notre Dame fan, I cannot stand Charlie Wise. So Charlie Wise apparently is the master of this offense. He's what started it, and then Belichick went out to Eugene, Oregon, and followed what Chip Kelly said and reinvented the Charlie Wise offense and inserted both of them together, and here we have the greatest quarterback of all time. 7th Super Bowl appearance for Tom Brady.
It's tired. It's great, but it's tired.
No, this will be his 8th. I wrote that down wrong. This will be his 8th. He lost 2. No, this will be his 7th. He's lost 2. He has 4 Super Bowls. I'm sorry. This will be his 7th. His 7th Super Bowl of all time. There's only been 2 Super Bowls in Houston since the Houston Texans have been in the league. He's been in both of them now.
Mm-hmm.
This is Atlanta's 2nd Super Bowl as it is.
Mm-hmm. It's great, but it's tired.
You're done with Tom Brady?
Like I said, he's great. What he's doing is great. What he has always done has been great. And I will never take that away from him. But it's tired.
Some a million more stats. I should just stop now.
There's nothing exciting about it to me. You can't say a single thing that's going to make me go, oh my God, Tom. I'm not going to be any more moist for this motherfucker than I already am. Like, no, he's good. He's great. He's one of the best ever.
6-2 against Tomlin.
I told you before the show even came on. I might actually just pick against him just because I'm tired of it. Like, yeah, it's great. And yeah, we picked him.
36.5 points a game versus Mike Tomlin's defenses.
Does it make you moist knowing that this information?
That's incredible.
That's great. Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing that you can say. As much we slurp him up way too heavy. The funny thing is that an actual Patriots fan used to tell me, "Yo, we talk way too positive about them, and they're actually not as great as we say they are." We should have got him on at some point, but we never did. But regardless, because
so he doesn't agree with me?
Because he's a weirdo, I would never have him on here, and that's why I kept him off. But
he doesn't agree with me on Tom Brady.
Well, last year I can say this now because I know he doesn't follow the situation, and he's a weirdo. That's why I never allowed the situation. No, he used to always say, like last year, he used to say, yo, y'all slurp the Patriots so hard, but I can tell you why they're not as good as you say they are. The Patriots, not Tom Brady. Get off Tom Brady's for
Well, no, that's all I did was talk about Tom Brady last year.
Get off Tom Brady's sack for 5 seconds. And
last year,
he was saying the Patriots in general are not as good as you say they are. As we say they are.
I think if 30 of the 32 quarterbacks are the quarterback of the Patriots last year, they don't make it as far as they do. I slurped Tom Brady as hard as they did last year because he was the only reason that they made it as far as they did. He's not the only reason they made it as far as they did this year. I'll give you that. This year, I think there's a lot going on. I think Hogan stepped up as a wide receiver. I think their entire defense has gotten better over the last 12 weeks, and I think that this was their best game of the season, which is crazy to have in the AFC Championship. Maybe that's Belichick just knowing what Tomlin's going to do offensively. Maybe that's their defense being actually that good. But I'll give you last year that I talked about Tom Brady as just Tom Brady, the way we talk about Aaron Rodgers.
I haven't talked to this fool all year, so I don't know if the feeling's the same way.
The way we talk about...
He's an actual Patriots fan, and he follows them, and he
the way we talked about Aaron Rodgers this year...
As much as we slurp from him,
I agree.
We're not as
Last year, I slurped Tom Brady. This year, I'm slurping the entire Patriots. Now, do I talk about Tom Brady more than anyone? Of course I do. But they won 4 games without him. They won 27-0.
If we really look, he has flaws in his game.
In that game, though, against the Steelers, he didn't have many flaws.
No.
He threw 2 bad throws.
The funny thing is, nobody wants to talk about
half.
Ben. Actually had, if you look at just those numbers, he had a good game.
See, it was
missed opportunities.
I don't think Ben had a good game until the middle of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. I think Ben had a really bad game until they were down by 20+ points.
I think it was more so his receivers, which are which at one point
outside of Antonio Brown, they aren't any good. I'll give you that.
Outside of fucking Antonio. At one point, I was like, yo, has he thrown to Antonio? Turns out Antonio had 7 catches. I was like, when they had...
But he was throwing it to 17 the whole time.
He was throwing it to some dude named Rodgers.
Eli Rodgers.
Who's the other guy? Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
So many drop opportunities. So many drop end zone touchdowns. It was like...
So can I give you a theory? Can I give you a theory?
What's the theory? Is it a Patriots theory?
No, it's a Steelers theory.
Okay.
They weren't... Bell only had 3 rushes in that game.
That's not the reason they lost, but okay.
They lost 34-3 to the Philadelphia Eagles this year without Bell. They're a different offense without LaDavion Bell. Do you agree? I mean, they lost 34-3.
I don't think
they lost 34-3 against the Eagles without Bell. They got blown out in the AFC title game without Bell. Those are admittedly the only 2 games without Bell that I watched this year. I didn't watch the other games without Bell. I did watch the Steelers-Cowboys game. I watched the Steelers-Ravens game. Outside of that, I didn't watch any Steelers game this year. So I can't sit here and tell you definitively that's what I think it was. I watched the Steelers-Kansas City game as well. But I can't sit here definitively and tell you because they didn't have Bell, that's what it was. But both games that they struggled offensively, they did not have Bell.
That's what I've heard.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that Ben Roethlisberger's career was coming to an end, and then AB gets drafted, and then Bell gets drafted, and the next thing you know, Ben Roethlisberger back to a top 10 quarterback. I don't think that's a coincidence. They put a good offensive line around him. They put a great offensive line around him, actually. I'll give you that. Last year was a great offensive line.
You take Bell out of the equation. I'm not saying
Their offense has been so much slower, though.
I'm not saying that removing Bell hurt or didn't hurt. Obviously, when you have a talent like Bell,
he's the best running back in the league to me. Him and Zeke, he's
if he keeps playing that game, do I think they win the game? No.
Do I think they give him the weight? Do they think they win the game? No. Do I think that they stay in the game the whole time? I think it's more competitive if he's healthy 110%.
I don't know, because
was he not healthy going into it? I don't know.
It's still going to be a shootout at the end of the game.
And I agree. And if you give Tom Brady the ball with less than 3 minutes to go, either tied or down, I think he scores and wins the game. Agree. I'm on your side there. And I think that the Patriots defense could not stop. The Steelers defense could not stop the Patriots offense the entire game. Every time the Patriots wanted to score, they scored at will during that game. I'll give you that.
Steelers haven't had a good defense in years. Their secondary is horrible.
This was the word. This one. This is the time of year where you do get exposed. So the Packers GM getting exposed or the Steelers GM getting exposed, it's not crazy. I mean, when you have good coaches, they're going to pick out your flaws and they're going to attack your flaws. For the first time in literally 70-plus games that the Patriots won the coin toss, they received. They kick every single time they get it. They received. They knew what they could do against the Steelers defense, and they wanted to get the ball and do that. And they did. They opened up the game with 5 straight passes, and they got within the first 5 straight passes, and they were inside the 10-yard line. Brady started that game 5 for 5 for 70-plus yards, and they were inside the 10-yard line before it was under 2 minutes into the game. I mean, I'm with you that it's the Steelers defense where it's not any good, but
some of these fucking stats, are just makes no sense to me. Why you know them?
What about Hogan for the Patriots? He played another white guy, so maybe. He played 4 years lacrosse at Penn State, and then 1 year.
I don't care. He had a good game at the end. Well, I don't need to know his life story, bro.
You don't find it impressive that he played 1 year of Division II football?
I don't care. He had a good game. I don't care.
Caught 12 passes in Division II football.
I don't care. Neither do the 3 people watching this cares. Nobody cares. Yeah, he had a good game.
That's impressive.
He had a great game.
It's impressive. And I'm not a Penn State guy. That's impressive. I didn't bring it up because of that. I brought it up because I thought that his situation was impressive.
Nobody cares.
Okay. Now, we both feel the same way about Tomlin.
Oh my God! Why are we still talking about football? What else is there to talk about? What about Tomlin?
A lot of Steelers fans are calling for his head the day after that game.
I don't know anybody that's doing that, but okay.
I know a couple. I wouldn't. Personally, I wouldn't.
That's stupid.
I agree.
That's stupid. You only won 2 Super Bowls.
One with him.
Whatever. You only won a Super Bowl and won the 2.
You made it 2 with him.
Okay, no. That's not
another AFC championship. Now, here's my only thing.
That's not even a conversation with me. They need to revamp their defense.
You and I both agree that we wouldn't fire him.
Well.
But, as I always say about the NBA, what are they trying to do in the NBA? You're trying to beat LeBron right now if you're in the East, right?
Oh, here we go.
If you're in the AFC...
So you're saying they should just blow up the entire thing?
No, not blow up the entire team. Because you're going to lose to Brady
forever regardless, so it doesn't matter. That's that Philadelphia logic.
Is it unacceptable?
That is unacceptable.
He's 2-6 against the Patriots, though.
But they won, though. But didn't they win the Super Bowl?
He's 2-6 against the Patriots.
How many Super Bowls did they go to?
He's 2-6 against the Patriots. He didn't have to play the Patriots in either of those playoffs.
But how many Super Bowls?
He didn't have to play the Patriots in either of those playoffs.
Okay, so maybe you look out again next year and you don't have to play them next year and you go.
2-6. But my point is, why...
The end. Then that's not a conversation. That means you've been to 3 Super Bowls. Okay, you didn't play Brady. Well, is anybody going to talk about that besides you? No. It doesn't matter.
Would I fire him personally? Absolutely not. But let me put it to you this way.
You can't put it to me any type of way. You won't give me the Philly aspect, and I'm going to tell you how ridiculous it is, which is what I just did.
If you're telling me...
You're not...
That they're looking at their the fan base is looking at their organization saying good enough isn't acceptable, we won championships.
Please.
I can't be mad at that.
Please. All I heard all day when I was listening to all these sports talk people was saying all the Steelers feel... The organization feels that, no, they're going to be in a great position next year.
Good.
And as they should.
They should. They should.
No
they need to figure out the secondary situation.
They're not blowing up that fan base. Whoever you
Gunner is miserable. Gunner is a very bad cornerback.
Whoever's saying get rid of the coach.
I hear that often. I hear that often.
really
I heard
rare.
that often all season long.
Because I know a couple diehard Steelers fans, and none of them have said that. So
And that's good. I've heard
very weird. That's
okay,
that's
I'm on
stupid.
the other
That's
side.
really
I know a
stupid.
couple of diehard Steelers fans that are actually
they're out of line.
always saying to fire Tomlin.
They're out of
And
line for that.
I don't agree with them.
They're out
As
of
a
line.
guy who has had 3 coaches in the last 5 years,
Right.
I do not agree with them. I will give you that. What I'm saying
You're
is
competitive.
I do like
Be competitive. Although you say Super Bowl bust. I mean,
I do like the theory of, as a fan base, you not being happy with just making it to the AFC
I get
Championship.
it. You're happy being the Philadelphia Eagles.
2-6 against Tom Brady's not good
So
though.
what? Okay, well,
He's
it is what it
averaging
is.
almost
He's great.
40 points a game against
But when
Tomlin.
you don't
though.
face him or what? Okay, so what? You don't play that way. You don't prepare that way. As much as you say, well, championship or bust, he's here, so let's not try.
The Eagles don't fire Andy Reid without championship or bust mentality, though, right? They don't fire Andy Reid that year without championship or bust
Y'all
mentality.
went to like 6 straight NFC Championship games with the 1 Super Bowl. It has
That's-
nothing to do with it. It has
that's my
everything to do
point.
with the fact that y'all kept failing.
My point is, you don't
It had
fire.
nothing to do with Tom Brady.
And that's my
they faced multiple teams. So what is your point?
But what my thing is okay. But the Eagles fan base finally overwon the whole the coaching getting you far isn't anything. No, I'm with you, and I didn't want Andy fired that year. So I'm sitting here on the side of your argument. What I'm saying is I do appreciate the championship or bust mentality because in their eyes they didn't win the
They
championship
lost
this year.
so often to Brady. Okay,
But
well,
in his eye, in the fan base's eyes, they don't think they're ever going to beat Belichick with Tomlin.
so what happens? Hypothetical. I know I hate hypothetical.
And I'm
but
with you.
damn, Houston beats
I'm with
fucking
you.
New England, and then Pittsburgh beats Houston. Okay,
Every
and
day
then they
of the
go to
week.
Super Bowl. Does
Yes.
anybody talk about you didn't play
No.
New England? No. Well, then okay, so what are we talking about? It doesn't matter. Nobody cares if they didn't face New England or that they lose so many.
2-6 against them, though.
Yeah, that sucks.
But
that's
that's
how
the
great
only-
the Patriots are.
But that's
then.
the only team that's stopping you from
But guess
going
what?
to the Super
Guess
Bowl
what?
6 times.
You just said they're 2-6.
5 times. Five, because they played them once in the regular
Pick a
season.
number. How many times have they
5.
played them?
They played, but 2-6. 5 of those losses are in the playoffs.
How many times in the playoffs have they played them?
5.
Total?
He's 0-5 in the playoffs against the Patriots.
Well, guess what? How many times did you get that far? 5 times. That says
Yeah,
how
but
great you are now.
3 of them were in the divisional round, 2 of them were in the AFC Championship.
You got there 5 times. You're consistently competitive, which is what I'm saying.
And I'm with you.
So be consistently competitive. It doesn't mean blow up everything.
And I'm
get
with
rid
you.
of the coach. Get rid of this. Get rid of that.
I'm with you. But the Eagles blew up their franchise even though they were consistently competitive just because they
And I
wasn't
told you how
good
stupid
enough.
I was. 'Cause
And I agreed
have
with you. And I agreed. I told you.
Except you have the championship or bust argument with me.
No,
So no, you don't agree with me.
my thought process is if you do win one Super Bowl in that 10-year span, is it worth it?
and they were at 2.
I think it is.
And they were at 2. And maybe next year they get at 3.
Again, I wouldn't fire Tomlin. I personally would not fire Tomlin. I'm just saying there is that side of the argument.
There is not that side of the argument.
The Steelers fans expect more than to losing 6 times to the same team. 5 times in the playoffs.
Maybe they're just that much more better. If you're just
Well, they are. They've been to the Super Bowl 8 times. The Patriots are the
Right.
first team to ever be
Maybe-
there 9.
Okay, so if you're the second best behind one of the greatest situations of all time, then what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
Nothing. At all. There's no reason to blow up anything. Championship or bust.
So-
Maybe just be competitive and be respectable, which is what the Steelers have been for over 15 years.
So the other side of it, not to get into off-season talk too early, but the Patriots are going to have to figure something out with Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel is a huge Patriots fan. Do you trade Garoppolo and make Johnny Manziel your backup, knowing Jacoby Brissett can handle it if Manziel isn't any good? You can get a first-round pick for Garoppolo.
I don't know what's more ridiculous, the fact that you just asked me that question or the fact that there's people that still think... there was some analyst on a network that I don't name because they suck that said, oh, well, Tony Romo, he should probably be cut or he's going to be traded or something.
He'll be traded.
You know who they should go after then? Johnny Manziel is on the market.
What?
Johnny Manziel's not going to have a job next year. The
As
answer
a
is
Johnny
no. The answer
Manziel
is no
fan.
to all the above. He's not going to have a job.
As a Johnny Manziel
He's
fan,
not going to have a job.
as somebody who would like to see him continue to play football, I don't think he'll have a job either. I don't.
He's done.
I don't.
He's
I don't
done.
think he'll have a
He's
job
done.
either. I
He's
do
done.
not think he'll have a job personally.
He's done. He's done. No. And the answer to your question is no.
So you don't think that
No.
they trade?
No.
Look, because
No.
they're gonna have to figure out something with Garoppolo.
No.
They have
No.
2 years left on his contract. You can get something for him this year, though.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You get a first round pick for Garoppolo?
No.
Make Brissett your backup?
Why does it matter?
First round draft pick for a guy you took in the 7th round is not bad. 6th round, I think. 6th round. He was drafted before Brady. I'm just saying that Look, as I said, I don't see Manziel playing next year.
Yeah.
If there's something in the tank, though...
It would be the first time the Patriots got rid of somebody and got draft picks or whatever. So
all he needs is one coach to believe in him as a backup. He doesn't even need them to believe him as a starter. He just needs somebody to believe him as a backup, as a practice squad guy.
Tim Tebow's saying the same thing right now.
And I agree. That's why I said I don't think he's in the league next year. I do think someone signs him for the preseason.
No.
You don't think someone signs him for the preseason? I think Johnny Manziel plays preseason.
He has too many issues, and he never proved everything in the pros.
I think Johnny Manziel does play preseason football next year. Look, it wouldn't shock me if he didn't, but I think somebody signs him for... Because I think that he has the Mike Vick talent, where he has a lot of talent, he just doesn't really care off the field, and that's a problem.
This is the only man on the planet that can turn a Johnny Manziel segment into a 5-minute conversation 2 weeks before the Super Bowl in 2017. You are the only man on the planet that can do that.
No, a lot of people want to see him come back. I don't care if he comes back or not. I like Johnny Manziel, but I don't care if he comes back or not. I don't think
why
he's
are we having this conversation.
I don't think he's on the roster because I was asking you. Do you think it's possible?
I said
no. Okay.
There's no reason to keep going with this conversation, bro. None. Johnny Manziel will not have a job next year. You agree? I agree. Okay. Next.
So we're done with football?
Hopefully. Something else that probably annoys me.
Russell Westbrook?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Joel Embiid.
We'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
Oh, yeah, we will definitely
we will definitely get there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What about Russ?
He has more triple-doubles than the 10 starters in the All-Star game.
And Russ didn't get a starter position?
He ain't starting.
It's a damn shame.
Waldell Curry starting his position.
Dude, can you explain to me? I understand this year they changed the fan voting and it means less.
A lot less.
Why do they still have 50%? Why? Why do the fans have a vote? Because they still can't get it right. They still do not get it right.
Did you see the top 10 voting for the fans, though? Did you see what the starters would be?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad, would it? Outside of Embiid, as a Sixers fan, I think Embiid should make the All-Star game. I don't think he should be a starter, though. Outside of Embiid, the other 9 players, I think, should make it.
Did Russ get in it?
Yeah. In the fan voting, he was number 3 in
They
fan
were the
voting.
tiebreaker. They were the tiebreaker, though.
No. The media was the tiebreaker.
I thought the fan vote was
No. The media is the reason he's not in it. The media vote.
Okay.
They voted him 4th in point guard.
Well, they got it wrong, too.
He was 2nd in fan voting for point guard.
Who votes? How does the Pro Bowl vote go? The fans just voted?
Fans, media, GMs.
They seem to get it right. So
media and GMs got it wrong. Media and GM got it wrong with Russ. They're the 2 reasons he's not in he was 3rd in the West voting. He was 3rd in the West voting. In the West.
The fact that he's 3rd is kind of disrespectful.
I agree.
Disrespectful.
He should be number 1. Look, if you're telling me to vote for who the best player in the NBA is today, if you gave me an MVP vote, I'm going to go Russ Westbrook, Harden, KD, and LeBron. Those are my 4 in it, but Russ wins it because if you took Russ off Oklahoma City, they are sitting there fighting with the Lakers for the worst team in the West right now, standing-wise. Because without it, I mean, he has more triple-doubles than the entire starting All-Star team. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. He's having the best season individually that I've ever seen in my lifetime. 1989, which I was not alive for, is the only other season we've seen something like this. That's not fair. It's not fair that he's not starting in the All-Star game. I know Steph can make a jumper from half court. I get it. He's not as good as Russ. He's not as good as Russ.
He's damn sure. There's both Steph and Harden now. I might give you one. If you pick one, then he's ahead of the other one.
Look,
you can't tell me both. There's no way both of them are ahead of
him. As I said, if you gave me an MVP vote, I'm going Russ.
I don't understand why both of them was all.
But KD, Harden, and LeBron are all in it. And Harden is the only good player on his team. I watched Golden State last Friday. Golden State played Houston.
Great. So you're telling me Harden.
That game's a 40-point game. Houston's out of it by 40 points if Harden doesn't suit up that night.
Okay, so you're telling me Harden and Russ should have been in it, and Steph should have been in it? Okay, that's fine. I'm good with that. Like I said, as one of them got to go, but Russ should be in it. There's no reason why.
Steph would be my odd man out.
Fine, I'm good with that.
Steph would be my odd man out.
I'm good with that.
And Steph is amazing. I'm not taking.
One of them's got to sit.
Steph made an amazing 3 from 31 freaking feet away last week. What Steph does is amazing. I'm not taking anything away from Steph. He is not Russell Westbrook. Nor is he as good as James Harden. Because if you switched him, if you put Steph on the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are not as good as they are. If you put Steph on Houston instead of James Harden, they are not as good as they are. Steph is very good, but he is better because of his teammates around him. Those two, doing it completely on their own. Those would be my starters in the West, without question.
It's a joke. The voting in general has always been a joke, and clearly this year it wasn't any better.
Would it?
It's just as bad. It's just as bad.
You and I look at this the same way. So when I say would it be fun, let me put it to a deal.
No.
Would it be...
No.
Would it be gut-wrenching as a GM to watch Russ, Harden, and KD all start the same All-Star game on 3 different teams? You had them in Oklahoma City. You had all 3 of those players in Oklahoma City. They might all start the All-Star game for 3 different franchises.
Sucks for them.
That's a hard pill to swallow, man. That's a hard pill to swallow. Now, obviously, Russ isn't going to start, but Harden and KD, who both left that franchise, are going to start. Again, like you said, that's a popularity vote. Curry made it because of popularity over Russ.
It's a joke. It's nothing but a joke.
The GMs are the reason that he made it, and
jokes for that time.
The players are the media is the reason that Harden made it over Russ. Now, the fans had Russ as the second highest in the guards, so it was Harden and Russ, and I agree with the fans for the first time, because usually I don't agree with the fans. Like the Pro Bowl voting in the NFL, ridiculous. Why is Andy Dalton taking Tom Brady's place as the AFC quarterback?
Who else is in the AFC?
Andy Dalton's taking his place?
Who else is in the AFC? My point.
You wouldn't put Ryan Tannehill in there after the season he had over Andy Dalton? His team made the playoffs and he missed the last 3 games of the season. That's how good he was.
No.
They lost 2 of those 3 games.
No.
They lost 2 of those 3 games without him. They lost 3 of 4 without him if you include the playoff game. Tannehill deserves to be in over Andy Dalton.
No.
You don't agree?
I don't care.
I might take Tyrod Taylor over Andy Dalton, honestly. Your boy Phillip Rivers over Andy Dalton this season. And I'm a Phillip Rivers hater. Phillip Rivers, I think, should be in there over Andy Dalton this season.
This is my point. There's no way that AFC doesn't stand out enough that you can say, oh, clearly this person. Clearly it should, without doubt, be this person.
You're telling me Tannehill, but no, the San Diego Chargers are moving to LA?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? You don't like it?
No, it's dumb. It's stupid.
Oakland Raiders moving to Vegas? I like that.
Somebody was going to Vegas.
Yeah, so I like the Oakland Raiders going to Vegas.
You don't send 2 teams to the same city when one is as good as it is.
No, it's only 50 miles away from Oakland. You don't expect Oakland to keep a team then.
You send one shitty team to one city, and then you send another shitty team to the same city.
LA and San Diego both going there. And San Diego...
They're not going to last 10 years.
LA's already talking about kicking the Chargers out.
I'm saying. They're not going to last 10 years, dude. They're not going to last 10 years, dude. There's no reason to... Dude, the Rams are trash. What makes the NFL...
The Rams are trash, I agree.
There's no reason to add another trash team on top of that. You want me to care about... I told you, this is LA. LA does not play that. You're not going to send one trash team and expect them to support it, which they haven't. And then you're going to say, okay, well, if you don't support this trash team, here's another trash team. It's not going to work. They're going to fall through, and somebody's going to have to move, and you just told me, which I didn't know this was a thing. They're already trying to vote them out. There's no reason to do that. Vegas makes sense. Whether it's the Raiders or the Chargers or fucking the Eagles. I don't care. Somebody was going to go to Vegas. It makes sense. It makes sense that somebody's going to Vegas.
All right.
As they should. And it's been too damn long that's been a possibility.
So, CB3 got hurt. Speaking of LA, CB3 got hurt. They were the 2 seed. They dropped to the 4 seed within 5 days. I think they dropped down to about the 6 seed and stay there the rest of the year. I think they end up being 6 seed, the Clippers. So that kind of takes them out of the conversation. In the West, you have Golden State, you have Portland. I don't think Portland makes a run at San Antonio or Golden State, but you have basically you have Golden State and San Antonio. Do you think San Antonio can beat Golden State? I don't either, because Golden State's playing incredibly well. People, I don't think, are giving Golden State enough credit for what they've done over the last month and a half. I mean, remember when they were struggling? Remember when it was that Friday night game on ESPN when they couldn't figure out who was going to take the last shot? The reason they couldn't figure out who was going to take the last shot is because they're winning most of these games by 30-plus points, 25-plus points. They don't need somebody to take the last shot. So for the first time all season, it was the middle of December, late December, they needed somebody to take a final shot, and it was an argument between KD, Steph, and Green of who was going to take the last shot. Green thinks Steph should have taken it. KD obviously wanted to take it. One of those two should take it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Or Clay. It doesn't matter. One of those three should take it. They're not in enough close games. Do you think that hurts them in the stretch, though, going against probably the Cavs in the finals? Do you think it hurts them to not have somebody take that final shot? Like LeBron seemed very comfortable throwing the ball to Kyrie with 37 seconds left last year in Game 7 to take that shot. But that's only because in the middle of the year, he was doing that. With 37 seconds left, while he was getting double covered, he was throwing the ball over to Kyrie. Kyrie was making the shot. So he felt comfortable in Game 7 of doing that same exact play. The Warriors don't seem like they have, in close games, comfortable of who they're going to give the ball to. KD should get the ball if it's for my money. I would rather lose on a KD miss than lose on a Steph Curry miss every day of the week. But I'm not going to argue the Steph Curry side. I think they're in an advantage to having two guys, if not three, that can make it 70+% of the time.
So to answer your initial question, which
Yes.
was like 5 minutes ago,
Yeah,
there need to be more situations where,
But they're winning these games by 25, 30 points.
well, yeah, but it does benefit them more to be in more close game
Yeah,
situations.
that game against
so
the Grizzlies that I'm talking about.
So that they know what to do in those situations when it comes down to the playoffs and it is a tight situation. You're going to have those situations. You need to know who is the man. Who is the man in that situation? I have my opinion who it is. I'm not going to say who it is because it doesn't matter. But
I want to know.
It's Steph. I'm not.
That's fine. That's fine. No, we're not going to debate it. No.
Pick whoever it is.
I would take any of those three.
Pick whoever it is.
I would take any of those
You
three.
need to know who the man is, and the alpha in that situation should be like, no, this is my team, and I'm going to be that guy.
The way Jordan did.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
You need to be that guy in that situation, and they need more experience in those situations. But unfortunately, or fortunately, they're blowing teams out and they're not in that situation.
It's going to come down to them in San Antonio in the West. The East, we made the joke about Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Look, the Sixers are only 4 games out of the playoffs. Do they have a shot at making the playoffs?
No.
I think they do.
Of course you do.
Can I go against the grain, though?
No.
When Ben Simmons comes back, I think they struggle.
Okay.
Because they're going to have to figure out how to play with Ben Simmons, and I think that's going to take 5-10 games, and they don't have 5-10 games this season if they want to make the playoffs.
They're already too far out of it.
As a fan, I'm actually okay with them not making the playoffs because that means they could have 2 lottery picks with the Lakers struggling the way they have over the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. The Lakers will have one of the worst records, so they'll have either the highest percentage or the second highest percentage for a lottery pick. The Sixers get their pick this year no matter what in the first round, and then the Sixers get their own first pick in the first round. So if the Sixers don't make the playoffs, they can make themselves 2 lottery picks this year, which I would be excited about. Would I like to see them make a run? Obviously, as a Sixers fan, of course I would. This last 12 games coming into this.
He says championship will bust. He wants them to bust. He wants them to flop. He don't want them to do anything. He don't want them to go to playoffs. He's lying.
I'd be alright with that.
He's lying.
I'd be alright if they missed the playoffs for the lottery. I'd totally be
So
alright with
you
that.
don't want them
They're not going to win the championship this year, so yeah,
you don't
you're
want them
absolutely
to.
right. I'd be okay with them
well,
missing it for that reason.
There's the conversation.
Now, if they make it, I wouldn't be angry, but they'll get swept by the Cavs if they do.
And you're like, see, this is why you blow the team up.
Yeah, not blow the team up, but this is why you don't win those last 7 games to make sure you stay out of the playoffs and get in the lottery. Now,
yeah, that's what I've heard.
With all that said, and I know you're not going to appreciate this, I want to shout out to Joel Embiid. He's having the best numbers a rookie has put up in the history of basketball. Better than Elijah wants. That's incredible.
Yeah.
They are minus 308 without him on the court.
Maybe they should play him more.
They're plus 64 with him on the court.
Maybe they should give him more minutes.
They upped his minutes. They started winning games. What an anomaly. Him, Noel, and Simmons, I think are going to be very fun together. It's putting stuff around them.
Such a joke. What a great organization they are.
I still think they got to get rid of Okafor, and I critical of them getting rid of Sam Hiskey and bringing in Colangelo. Colangelo has proven nothing but good things since they did that. So, I'm going to give him props. Halfway through, almost 5 games from halfway through, of me being the critical person I was, his contributions have been part of what helped them get to this point. I want to give him credit. Now, do I think Sam Hiskey could have done stuff like that? Yes. To the degree they have, I don't know. That's a different story for a different day. So, I'm going to give him props because I put him down last year. I was wrong for what I was saying about him. He's done all right. Now, do I think they finish it off? I hope so. I do not know. I like Noel, obviously. I want to see Simmons ball out, obviously. Embiid is the man, obviously. I want them to trade Okafor. We'll see what happens when we get there.
I'll let you speak for yourself. It's so funny.
Well, I said they would lose to the Cavs no matter what in the first round. Do you think the Cavs, 110% effort, lose a game against the East? If they put 100% effort in every game going to the finals, do they lose a game in the East? No? You don't think Toronto?
No.
Pacers?
No.
Chicago?
No. Chicago might not even make the playoffs.
I know, Chicago might not even make the playoffs.
No, the East is trash. They've always been trash. They will always be trash. Trash.
Well, that's all I have for the basketball then. That's why I was hoping for more. Nothing?
No.
You have nothing? Can I give you condolences for the loss on Sunday for the Lakers?
That's fine. They suck.
That was the biggest loss in franchise history. I don't like that on the sense of. I don't like that on the sense of. I want to see Luke Walton succeed.
He needs to learn how to lose. That's fine.
Like that though, to the Mavs.
I
want to see him succeed. That's why I don't like seeing that. I read that. I don't care if they lose by 5 points. That would suck. But I mean, I'd rather that than by 51
he needs to learn
points.
How to lose. He's been a winner for too long.
He has been a winner for a lot of his career. I'll give you that. He's a Walton as well, which
get rid of
his
some
dad
of these
won.
punk players, dude.
Okay. What do you think Jeannie West is going to do?
That's the real answer.
I'm
not paying attention to.
You think she's going to get rid of her brother?
Yeah.
So do I.
Definitely.
So
absolutely.
do I.
He gave a timetable, and she said okay.
Who did she bring in?
I don't know. She was talking to Magic.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
I saw that. You think Magic?
I would love that. Well, she ain't bringing in Phil, apparently.
Her and Phil broke up.
So, maybe Magic.
I'll be honest with you. You dodged a bullet on the Phil thing.
I mean, at this rate, yeah.
He looks really bad with the Knicks.
Yeah. He was supposed to be the coach at one point, but...
Somehow the Knicks are half good, and then they're not. It's weird. It's all half.
They're all trash. The Knicks are poop.
Porzingis is good.
Knicks are poop.
Porzingis is good. I'll take Porzingis. I'll take Melo, not on the Knicks. I'll take Melo, though.
No, the Knicks
Melo
are
with
trash.
Chicago? Ooh.
He had his opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
No, the Knicks suck.
I get it.
Knicks suck. I'm not going to pay attention to the Lakers like that until ownership needs to change. There needs to be a new atmosphere.
Oh, really? You think completely? Even Jeannie?
No, Jeannie can stay.
Because she's good.
Yeah, she needs to get rid of her brother.
I think she's good.
She's going.
She's going to get rid of her brother.
Yeah.
So you
that's what I'm going to care about.
You like the Magic thought?
Yeah,
I like the Magic thought. I like the Magic thought.
Because you're not bringing in, drawing a blank. He was there. He brought in Shaq. He's with, I think, the Jazz.
Kupchak?
No. Kupchak's still there. No, fuck. Jerry West.
Yeah, okay.
Jerry West has come back. He's wherever the hell he's at right now.
Yeah, he's with Utah, you're right.
Right. So, I would love that. That would be the perfect scenario, but he's not leaving, so.
Okay.
Get rid of your brother. Kupchak's still there. Kupchak has no power. He has no say. He's pretty much just a spokesperson at this point.
And that sucks because he was a good GM. He's the one who brought in Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's the one who brought in Powell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Brewer when they had Brewer
no
for a
power
couple
anymore
years.
For some reason. Her brother took all the power, and he's.
He restructured Fisher and Bryant's contract the years that they were able to get. He was I like Mitch Kupchak.
He's the one to turn down Phil Jackson's return.
Yes.
As a head coach.
Yes. I like him.
He shut down Byron Scott, even though everybody wanted him.
Yep.
Everybody wanted Phil. He
you're
shut
right.
down everything.
You're right. I like Mitch Kupchak a lot as a GM. I think
he brought in Dwight Howard.
But he brought in Dwight Howard. I'm with you, as bad as that sounds. He brought in Dwight Howard, though.
It sounded horrible when it happened.
He was the best center in the league when he did that. I'm with you. And
I still say no, he wasn't.
You were, and this is what the show is based off of, is me understanding that you were 110% right on that exact moment. Mm-hmm. You were the one telling me Dwight Howard is not going to help them, and I was like, but he's the best. But I was like, he's the best center in the league. What do you mean he doesn't help Kobe Bryant?
Just had the best year of his career.
And you're sitting there telling me he's not going to help them, and I'm like, but he's the best center in the league. What do you mean he's not going to help Kobe Bryant? Like, you were right.
Just had the best year of his career.
And you're right. And then Andrew Bynum ends up never playing a game for the Sixers. As a Sixers fan, I was like, I can't wait. I can't wait. So Mitch Kupchak knew at least that Andrew Bynum was done, and he went out and got the best center. Did it work out? No. But I'll give him the fact that he tried, yeah. I mean, that's better than no GM. Anyways, different conversation for an entire different day. We have one last thing to get into.
What's that?
WWE pay-per-view event this week is the Royal Rumble. You get the first contender if you win the Royal Rumble for the match against the champion at WrestleMania.
It's a big Rumble too, though.
30 guys?
Some big names, yeah, 30 men.
Undertaker.
Taker's in it.
Goldberg's
in it.
Lesnar's
in it. Dean Ambrose is in it.
Dean Ambrose.
Seth Rollins is in it.
Seth Rollins.
Jericho's in it.
That's my pick. I'm picking Jericho to win the Royal Rumble this year.
I can't deal with you. Well, of course you pick Chris Jericho.
The GOAT.
I mean, in fairness, he's coming off one of the best years of his career, which was last year. He's been one of the top dudes.
You heard it here, JD Sports. I'm picking Jericho to win the Royal Rumble.
So then you got his best friend, Kevin Owens, beating Roman Reigns for the title. And then you got Jericho winning the Rumble, so they face each other at WrestleMania for the title. The best friends.
GOAT. The GOAT.
I can't see it happening.
Okay, so...
I mean...
Now, there's obviously
there's a small part of me that can see it happening, but I don't see it happening.
There's many other wrestlers in this.
Right.
You follow wrestling a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win it?
It's a pain in the ass because when we were looking at the list earlier, we just named a bunch of them.
And I always say Jericho no matter what.
Right.
Disclaimer. Before people think that's serious.
But he is. I don't know, dude. I'm looking at the list, and I can't see a damn one of them winning. I think if I had to pick one that was on the list of, like, there was like 10 people on the list, maybe Seth Rollins, maybe. But honestly, if I'm going to be straight up, I don't think it's a person that was on that list. I think it might be somebody that's not listed. So I don't think it's going to be Taker, Goldberg, Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Dean Ambrose.
And all those would be good.
I think they're all tied up. I think they're all set up perfectly to have matches at WrestleMania. I think Goldberg and Lesnar's going to fight at Mania. I think Taker and Braun Strowman's going to fight at Mania.
Okay.
I think like these bigger names are already lined up, but they're just going to be in this match. I think they're already lined up for Mania, so I don't see them winning the match. Like I said, if I had to look at the list and pick somebody, maybe Seth Rollins just because, but I would have put money on it. I would have put money on any of these guys. I think it's going to be someone that's not listed, maybe a surprise entrant. Part of me thinks maybe the demon dude, Finn Balor, maybe he comes back, but he's not expected to come back to like
Triple H.
No, he's definitely not winning. They don't need those problems.
Remember he had the title for like a year and a half and didn't defend it.
Yeah, and I remember when the ratings took a shit, and then
because of that.
Yeah, then they blew up everything, and now they got roster split, and then they gave it to Roman Reigns, and that didn't work either. So here we are. I don't know, dude. Like I said, if I had to pick out of that list, I'm going to say Seth Rollins, but I'm not putting money on it.
Okay. Well, I'm rooting for Y2J. I'll probably watch it with you. So I'm excited for that aspect of it.
It's going to be star-studded. I mean, it's going to be like
it's either that or the Pro Bowl.
Oh, God. No.
So we're going to watch that?
Damn sure I'm watching that.
Okay,
I mean, it's star-studded. I mean, like, even the 4 or 5 names we listed, like, it's already a stacked Rumble match itself.
That's a good seven guys. Out of 30, that's a good 7 guys.
Yeah, and then you got to figure there's going to be surprise entries.
Yeah,
there's
right.
going to be, this, that, and the third. But like I said, I don't think any of these guys are actually going to win it. But it's going to be a good Rumble.
You don't think Y2J has a chance? GOAT.
No, I mean, I think there's a slight chance because, like I said, they might play the best friend angle, but I can't see that being in 2017. That's not an angle you should be going for.
I agree.
But then again, you're headlining with Taker, Goldberg, and Lesnar.
Oh, you're a step away from The Rock and Stone Cold.
Right. You might as well just put them in. I mean, maybe The Rock will be a surprise entrant.
Maybe Stone Cold will be.
Well, it is in Texas. It's in San Antonio.
He wouldn't do it.
Which tells me Shawn Michaels would show up.
Oh, Shawn Michaels said he's going to stay retired, though.
Yeah, he was on ESPN.
Did you see that?
I was mad.
You saw that too?
I was mad. Because I still think he's better than anybody out there today. I think he can lace up right now and be better than anybody out there. One of the greatest of all time.
I mean, my
second favorite all
My
time,
favorite wrestler of all time was Rey Mysterio. But Shawn Michaels is up there in my
he's
top
so good.
5.
He's so great.
He's up there in that.
He has to be.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's definitely my top 2. I got Brett number 1.
Oh, okay, Brett's your favorite?
Shawn's definitely number 2.
I didn't know
he's
that.
Great. You know Brett my favorite?
No, we know a lot. You know my favorite football players and baseball players and basketball players, and I know all yours and all that. I did not know Bret Hart was your favorite wrestler.
He was so good.
Wow, okay, that's good to know.
And Shawn Michaels, he's like 1A.
I love Shawn
It's
Michaels.
like right under. He was so good.
My cousin is a huge Shawn Michaels fan. That's what made me like Shawn Michaels. He liked Shawn Michaels and Triple H. He loved DX, obviously.
Yeah. Triple H was great. But
Mysterio and
know
X-Pac. Isn't that weird? Mysterio and X-Pac were my favorites.
See, now I got to take away the Seth Rollins thing because I think Seth Rollins and Triple H are setting themselves up for WrestleMania. So, who's going to win a Rumble? I don't know. It's not going to be Seth Rollins. Now that I think about it, Seth Rollins is lined up for Triple H.
So who you got?
That's been built up for months.
Just name somebody random. Anybody. I got Y2J. Who you got?
Fuck's sake.
I pick Y2J. You got to pick somebody.
This is so ill. Like, I would say, the Demon I just said. What the fuck's his name? I'm sure we'll blank.
Finn.
Yeah, I would say Finn Balor, but I don't think he's going to come back this soon from injury. I'm just going to go with that.
Well, if he comes back as a surprise, I'm with you. I think he wins.
Yeah, definitely. If he comes back, and it's a huge if he comes back, he's definitely winning. But
any other big fights that night? The Rumble is obviously what you're going to care about there. But
definitely.
Anything else?
Cena versus Styles for the WWE title.
Who you got? Dun 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 dun. The time is now. Dun 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 dun.
I don't know, dude. Again, this is so tough. Like the card in general is so tough. Like they can really go any way in these situations. I can see Cena winning. I mean, Styles has held the belt for a minute, but he's that good that they just refuse to take it off him. So I mean, why should I believe it now? He'll hold it to Mania and he'll lose it to whoever wins the Rumble.
As a betting man, I'm taking Cena.
It's not a wrong move. I'd say Styles, just because he's been rolling and there's no reason to.
Well, I'm excited. I invited myself over to your house to watch this weekend, so I'm gonna watch it. I don't watch many wrestling events throughout the year, so this is a pretty big one for us. Like I said, I got Y2J. You have no clue who's gonna win this Rumble, and I like that.
And that's great. That's good.
That actually makes me excited to watch it.
That's good because usually
as a fan who doesn't watch it, it makes me excited to watch it.
Yeah, and somebody that watches it way too damn often.
It makes you excited to watch it.
Yeah,
it should. That's a good
too
thing.
often you can say clearly this or
this guy's gonna win or this person or it's gonna be one of the 3 people. Yeah,
right.
No.
I don't
it's
really
good
feel that
that
way this year.
You have no clue who's gonna win it. I like that.
It's so up in the air. I think too many people are occupied with other situations, so it makes it difficult.
We both have entirely too early Super Bowl predictions that we're not going to get into right now, but we will talk about next week. We're going to break the entire Super Bowl down next week. We'll talk about the Royal Rumble. Yeah. We're going to have to talk basketball to fill in some kind of time. I thought this was a good show, even though you didn't have any interest in either football game this week.
None.
7 of the 9 games that were played this year so far in the playoffs have been blowouts, so I do understand why you don't have any interest in it.
It's that parody.
I hope the Super Bowl's closer. I hope we watch the Super Bowl together. If not, we're at least going to talk about it before the Super Bowl, so next week. Tune in to JD Sports to see our picks.
Yeah, hopefully we both feel better.
Hopefully we both feel better. I agree with that one. That's the best sentiment. Go Y2J in the Royal Rumble. This was JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's the White Garfield.
Suck it.